Alright YouTube, we are back with a Z125. Where I left you off last time is I was checking all the torque specs. I'm going to check something. What is that? For everything. Well, I found out that the crankcase bolts, these Phillips head bolts, 1, 2, not that one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that hold the two together are supposed to be at like 68 inch-pounds, and they were not. So I tightened that up. I've gone for a couple rides with it, and I see absolutely zero oil leaks. The other thing I didn't tension up before I went for my test ride was all the engine mounts. So the whole engine was kind of rattling in there. And after that, I checked the torque on some of these, just like, you know, head studs and everything. Just made sure everything was torqued right. And I don't have any oil. So before I get drips just with it sitting after a ride right here. And this is, well, dirty, but there's no oil. So that's what really matters. So I'm going to call the engine good. We're going to do an oil change in it again. We're going to flush the system, pull the clutch cover off, and put in the other brand new filter I have. We're going to flush it a couple times just to make sure we got any particulates from the old clutch out. So I think now really what we need to do is we need to put it back together. Talking about putting things back together, one of my test rides this fell off. The next test ride it fell right back off again after it sounds like it clips in, but it really doesn't. I'm going to get new plastics for part of this, and I'm going to get new turn signals. I was trying to click it in again, but so there's like some kind of glue or epoxy that was on this. There it goes. That obviously is worn out or just cracked off. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to clean some more of this out. Clean this out, get all the epoxy or glue or whatever off it, and just super glue the crap out of it for now, because it's just a temporary fix. Let's see if I can get this out. No, okay. Get a knife or something, get that out. But yeah, clean it up, re-glue it, just stick it to it. Probably, like I said, probably just put a couple pieces of electrical tape around each end while it's drying. Let it dry out. Then we're going to look at what we have left for parts to put on this thing, which really isn't much. The Chinese white plastic fairings, I found these on eBay. And by I found these, I mean I found the guy selling these on eBay. I didn't purchase these from eBay, they came on the bike. But they look like just a quick replacement set. This big fairing, which goes right in here-ish, tell about like 2 bolts. And then we're going to do the handlebars. We're going to change these out for the actual Pro Tapers. And new grips, new control over here, because the threads for the clutch are shot. And it might need a new clutch cable too. I haven't decided yet. I want to see how everything fits attachment wise with the new one before I decide on that. But might just buy a new clutch cable just to be sure. And then as you can see, we need new plastics up here. I think the headlight's okay. I'm just touching it. I think the headlight itself is okay, but until I take it all apart, see if anything's broken, I might have to buy a whole assembly. This I'm going to sand down and fix. You know, then we're going to start doing cosmetic stuff. I'm going to paint the whole bike a different color. What color, you guys already guessed it. You know what color it is. It's really tough to tell by what I do. And then we're going to be riding. Still got cleaning to do on this, but the main components are cleaned out. It's just residual dust. Oh, we got a cover here that's missing. Where that went to? This bucket of parts over here might be containing all I need. And wrong bucket. It's another blue bucket right there that might contain. Aha, more parts. Yep, chain cover. Hey bikes. Chain cover, exhaust belly pan. Don't lose those bolts. These bolts are in specific spots. Yeah, stay. And then there's these 3 bolts. These go up here. Some more bolts. Some of this stuff is redundant, so I'm just gonna Toss it over there. And then this is all just either spare parts and wire, nothing I need to worry about on this bike. So empty the box, guys. Hell yeah. You gotta love when a box of parts becomes a bike. So I'm gonna just attach all the plastics. You know, music on and off camera, because you guys don't need to see me attach all this stuff. But if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer them. I'm gonna have to get up torque specs and all that stuff too, but yeah. So we'll be back later when I'm done attaching stuff. Catch you guys in a bit. There we are, YouTube. The Z125 is back together. All the fairings are on, clipped together. I lost a bolt there, so that's supposed to be a black with a Phillips head, and I went through all my bolts and nothing fits properly, so we're going to reorder a bolt. Oh, is that it? Nope, that didn't clip in. Whoopsie. There you go, clipped in. There's a bolt underneath the seat that's wrong, and there's one more bolt somewhere. There's like, oh, there's a clip missing on one of the fairings, so there's nowhere to bolt it. So I may just buy, so I'm between the two things of buying these cheap fairings from China, and there's a guy that sells these front, back, and everything, and then taking them all apart and painting them. Or do I just go to Kawasaki and spend like a lot more? It's like $400 at least for fairing, and just get all new fairings for it. It's not that important to me, but like time-wise, it would be so much easier. And this light here's got some glue on it and stuff, so I taped it so it would hold together. I'm gonna let that dry for a while. Just that tape will come off. So yeah, this is the next thing that's gonna have to happen is the handlebars. Is the Pro Taper handlebars need to come off to put on new Pro Tapers. So I guess one of the first things I'm gonna have to do is find my Pro Tapers, which honestly I don't know what I did with them. I see the end of it. It's on the couch somehow. Okay. Take the mirrors off. Take all the controls off. I've got new, I gotta take the levers off. So you can loosen this right up and feed that out. That side's good. That's just gotta unbolt and go out. Yeah. So, hey Dookie. Yes, I talk to the bikes like they're my children. And then I talk to my cats like they're my children. I talk to my children like I don't have any. So I'm just going to grab an assortment of wrenches, 14, 12, 10. See what we can do. Easy enough. And we're going to keep the original mirrors for now. I really would like to. I'd like to get another set of those Triumph mirrors for this, but as I found with that, I need to make a custom piece with the Pro Taper bars. The inside diameter is different for the what's that called? For the bar ends, they're even different than these fake ones. So I'd have to figure out how to mount everything. Come on, there we go. There we go. Get the rubber loosened up. There it is. Voila. Exposed. Loosen the lock. Oh, smacked myself with the whole thing. The lock did not come loose. It was just the whole thing. Voila. No mirrors. And a lot of people ride without mirrors, but I've been rear-ended once, so I'm going to keep riding with mirrors, because if not, it's going to give me anxiety, and nobody wants that on the road. Zanxiety. So you get these bar end things off, which I want to say this one just pulled off last time. I don't have to save any of this, so I could technically just cut it if I really need to. Actually, I think that'll unbolt if I pull on it. So you guys are going to see these these videos throughout the summer as I make them, because I'm doing these videos for the Z125, the XS650, a possible third bike's on the way, anything we do to the Duke. I'm not doing anything on this side, cleaning it. Maybe I'll make a nice video of Heather washing that in her bikini for you guys. That'll get all the likes. Let's see if this will work. Come on. It's like a metal twine around these. I don't know if that was. I don't know if those are stock, like, or I don't know if those came with the handlebars, or if my guy who did dirt bike racing put those on there to make sure these stayed on. But that might be my only problem, is that's holding it on. Come on. Come on, I have actual nice handlebars for you. Or actual nice grips, come on. Okay, that one's off. There we go. Got the end off itself. There we go. Okay. And the other hardware's got to come off now. So there that goes. And now I can get a wrench in there. I wonder if I can save these. See, this is my problem, is I want this bolt now. I want to save this bolt for another project. Decent bolt, decent washer, decent nut. Put it back together. Throw in the spare parts, and then these can just go right in the beautiful trash. Now, got a trash can now. What, are you too good for your home? Hi, Heather. Okay. Oh, I already hurt my hand once this week. A big blister in the middle. You guys will love it. Screwdriver, check. The rubber and the metal are going to separate soon. I can already feel it. So what we're going to have to do is get my favorite thing in the world. Maybe I should set up this shop a little differently so that we don't have to walk around all the time, but we'll get there. Some WD-40. A little touch there. Just a little something to create less friction in there. There it goes. Should have done that to start with. Coming right off now. And it's off. Done. And we'll leave the WD on there because we're gonna... Oh damn, the edge of this thing's all chewed up. Crazy. That might be from the accident. We'll leave the WD on there because we're gonna put another grip on. Garbage. Now, let's start with this side because that side I need to take the controls off and detach that. This side I'm gonna have to take off. Looks like, if you guys can see it, move the camera. 2 Phillips heads, and this whole assembly should slide out, which is the throttle, which may or may not slide out because I may have to detach something to get it off. So it looks like 2 Phillips heads and it comes out. That was easy. And actually we could probably leave that loose because when we take the bars off we can move the whole bar assembly to get it. These look like 10 mils. I really should stop using my bike as a tool bench. Nope, they're smaller. It might be 8s even. Wow. I think I have an 8 right here. And a wrench right here. Voila. So I think we'll disconnect this fully right now. This might be a bad idea because we don't want it to leak brake fluid either or get air in the system, but we'll see. Just tuck that up there for now. That'll be fine. Go to the other side. Let's see, what do we got down here? A 10 millimeter nut right there. Oh, of course not. There's not enough room to get it out. Awesome. It's one thing Kawasaki does, and we will spin this over so I can show you guys. At least this is the same thing that I had problems with on my 300 and 636. It's not a huge issue. I guess with this one it's going to be even less because I got new equipment for this. But let's get this out of the way. This looks like one Phillips head. Interesting. Feels a little... Oh, 2. There's one up there too. Phillips, and I don't want to strip that out. There we go. Another Phillips right there. Okay, get rid of this guy. We don't need the clutch thingy because I already have one. Let's put it in there for now. Now let's spin this over if I can. And there are 2 Phillips heads, which I have to see if I need to reuse this switch or not. I don't think I do. I think the new assembly came with a new switch. Should be great. Oh, hold on. There is no nut on that. So normally there's a nut down here and you can't get it off because the switch is in the way. But this looks like the previous owner never put the nut back on, and I never got a nut for it when I put on my levers, so you just gotta take my lever off. But sometimes that switch gets in the way of you working down here, so. I think I have a new one of these. I don't know what's the new one. New set of bars. Okay, disconnected. Let's just get this out of the way. My cheapo orange levers, which I love. These actually are even cheaper than the other ones I have. These were just a Amazon special. Don't put it on the couch. You already got it dirty, and now you got it dirtier. I'm gonna tell Heather. I'll clean that later. Pro taper bars, looks like I already have a switch and I have the bolt. And that's good because that switch is actually broken on that set over there. Got something on there. Let's leave those right there for now. So I think we're gonna disconnect everything so we can shift the bars back and forth. I left my wrench for that over here. All four are loose. Going to use the same, I don't know if you call these risers because they're not attachments, but we're going to use the same attachment points as these bars, so no reason to get rid of those. We're going to hang these bars up on the wall when we're done and make a nice display somewhere. Okay, those are done. This thing should lift right up. There it goes, a little stuck in there, and then we'll slide it this way. We should be able to pull these controls off, nice and easy. And then same thing on this side, slide the bars around the controls. Now I want to keep this guy somewhat upright for now because I don't like brake fluid. There you go. So these are the fake Pro Taper bars. And the new ones, they are much wider. They're a little shorter, which is fine, but they're much wider. I think this will be great. These are actually Pro Taper 7/8 bars, where the last ones were just whatever you want to call them. Now I guess the thing I forgot when I attached this was that control. So I put a grip on this already. I forgot all about the controls, which need to be inside? Wait, are we okay? These go inside or outside? Outside. Shit. We're not okay. Actually, we can be fine. We can be okay without having to take this all apart. Right, yeah, controls, then the grip. Okay. I'm looking at it for 5 seconds. I forgot already. So what we really can do is just drop your wrench. Take this bolt and just slide this out of the way temporarily. And we're gonna do this one the easy way. We're gonna take this thing completely in 2 pieces and then clamp it on here. Similar to how we're doing the brake. So if we don't need the a movement for that. So this side, this should just be, yep, nice and easy. Also don't really want to scrape anything, so I'm trying to go nice and easy with it. Okay, voila. So that should be the only piece that needs to be, I'll get over here. Put it in there nice and easy. This can mount to it, that can mount to it. These can come apart and take off, and let's just re-put this thing on here. Like I said, the like all these parts moving, if soft scrapes on each other, I'll ruin the finish, and I'm trying to keep the finish nice. So I'm trying to hold things in place as I go without ruining much. And luckily Pro Taper makes a nice job of being able to spot the, there it is. They have little adjusters, markings on there, and they make it very easy to spot where those are so that you can, you know, lower, raise your bars as you want. Or in my case, for now, I'm just trying to center them. And if I want to raise or lower them later, I will. But for now, we're just going to get it tucked in here. Give it a little snug up so it won't fall down. I think I did that with the XS650 when I was putting the bars on that. I didn't tighten these down enough and it slid and fell. It scraped some paint off the bar. I was very upset with myself. Okay, so they're just snug enough so they're not going anywhere, so we can get the rest of this done. And then take a torque wrench and get it all set up. Okay, that should be good enough. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, I can already tell these are much wider bars. This would be nice, because they used to basically hit there. We're on this side. We're going to work on this side to start with. Use my favorite bolt holder, my mouth. Don't swallow your bolts, kids. Now all the controls can be loosened back up and adjusted later for when because when you get on the bike, you're going to get a feel for where you want your fingers to hit and everything. That's one of the underrated things I feel about motorcycles when you buy one, is getting the size or the ergonomics set up so that you're reaching out to the right spot where you want to hit and all that stuff on the bike. Maybe that's just me, but like when I bought my ZX6R, that's one of the first things I did was I started moving controls around a little bit, because I was like, oh, this needs to be over here, this needs to be over here. Snugged up just enough to get the lever on, if we can, without taking the switch out. Lever, it's already oiled up nicely from before, because I oiled it when I put it on that bike. And we'll just kind of loosen by hand this guy. And I think I'm going to need, is it 10 still? Everything's hand tight because I took it all apart once already. I moved everything around, made sure everything was here. Okay, so the other good news with buying this whole perch here is it came with a stock lever too, which we're not going to use because nope. But it came with a new switch, which my switch was kind of in poor shape. Make sure this thing aligns right, perfect. So the safety switch for the clutch is brand new on this side. The last one had some glue on it or something, like it'd come apart before. So you get this in there, tighten this down. Well, this nut on the bottom that I'm twisting on, really its only purpose is to hold this from spinning out. So really, it just needs to be on there, and yeah, I'm gonna have to take out the switch to get this to work, but we'll get it fully to work. And this turns so much nicer than the old one. You guys won't be able to tell, but I will. So. Okay, that's about good, I think. Might be a little high, might have to lower that down a bit when we start riding. Yeah, it feels high already, but so all you do for adjustments is you just take this guy, loosen it, which it'll be a lot tighter. And I'm gonna loosen it again because I don't want to scratch anything. Keep that in mind when you're moving stuff around. If you're too tight, you're gonna scrape paint. Move it down a bit. That's much better. So let's look at that switch under here for the clutch and get that out of the way temporarily once I find my other tools, which I keep hiding from myself in my own pocket. When you get under here, there's two screws, which thankfully, don't lose my camera, Kawasaki has painted yellow because they've torqued them down to spec before they sent it to us, so I can identify them easier upside down. I don't know if you guys can see them or not, but okay, let me get a different angle for you. Get this off here first off, and voila. Okay, oh no, not voila. Let's take it off my head. So what I'm working on is 1 and 2 in the back there. Removing these two, if you can see it, just enough, well, fully out, so we can get to the nut that I'm working on, because this guy's in the way of it. Got it. Put you back on my head. Okay, switch is out, that's all it is. Put it up there. Put the 2 bolts together, down where I dropped the last one. Should be out of the way enough that we can get a wrench. Maybe this is a 10, this is an 8. 10, maybe this wrench will fit on there. There's other stuff in the way here. Oh, that's perfect, perfect. So now we can tighten this up, which just makes sure that the clutch lever cannot come out. Perfect. Now there's probably a torque to that too, but I haven't figured it out yet. Now we have to reinstall, just reverse 2 bolts. Okay, clutch lever, switch, all the controls are back together on this side. Switch over to the other side, where we already have the throttle assembly on. Oh, I didn't want that to fall down. Oh well, I guess it fell down. And it needs to sit just far enough in that the bar end will be there. That looks okay for now. What are we going for? Phillips heads. I left my screwdriver on the other side of the bike. This brake lever feels a little stretched right now for the brake line, so we may have to replace the brake line in the future. But we'll test it first before we go doing stuff. Could just be the way I'm looking at it. It could be just fine. I'm just trying to, you know. This was the 8mm. Just way the hell over there. Now I'm going to give everything pretty much just a little snug up so it doesn't move on me while I go test. So what I just noticed is the grips are much longer than the tube itself, so we can actually slide the whole assembly inward, which might take a little pressure off my brake, which will work for me. So we're going to need, what's this, Phillips and 8mm. So this is a 10, there's an 8. I know I'm very organized over here. And the Phillips. Let's start with loosening up the brake, which do the top first. Get that nice and loose, don't let it roll. The bottom, nice and, ooh, smacking my plastics. Okay. Just snug it up right there for now so it doesn't move. Looks okay. I want it in just enough so that it's not overhanging the edge, or it's the over. Yeah. I don't want it to overhang this edge because I want to put bar ends on it, so I need it just inside of that. If you guys haven't watched my Exit 650 video about me doing that, you'll see why. Okay, should be good there. And then we can, actually feels really good right there. We're going to leave it right there for now. There's nothing it can hit, there's nothing it can interfere with. I like it there. I'm going to tighten, no, not loosen, tighten. Okay, handlebars are done, let's say. I gotta find a torque spec for the mounts and everything. It's a 10, that's good, that's good. And then I put the mirrors on, and of course adjust the mirrors. We're gonna play with those for about 6 years. Forever adjusting mirrors. We've got these are stock, at least stock looking. I don't know if they're actually stock Z125 mirrors, but they look stock enough that I'm going to call them such. And this should, okay. And we need our 14 mil. And I believe This is a 14, and that's a 14. So we're gonna need another 14 mil because we have to loosen and adjust stuff. So let's see if I can find another one. If not, we can use a crescent wrench. But I have a bunch of wrenches over here. I just don't know what size I have over here. Spare 300 parts. I do not seem to have the 14 here. It must be inside somewhere. So, and I might have all my crescent wrenches inside too. And almost all of them. This one will work. It's pretty close. No, this wants to go that way. Which way does this want to go? That way. Okay. This way you can adjust it. Just get it in line with the handlebars. We can adjust. We can twist it off later, or twist it around later. Then you hold this one and tighten that one. I think. Yeah, that's it. That's how you do it. I always forget. Okay, sorry, I didn't get the bottom one tight enough apparently. You gotta tighten the bottom one and then put your wrench on the bottom one so you don't move it. It should just be tight in the top, which is actually loosen, I guess, technically. Okay, good enough. Good enough for now. I'm gonna leave that up because we're probably gonna have to adjust it 12 times. I guess technically this is the passenger side, right side of the bike. That actually, should sit just fine. It was the same spot it was before. It's the same device, so. Voila. Pro taper bars installed on my Z125. Let's get out of my shorts and sneakers. Get into that gear. We'll take it for a spin around the block. Maybe we'll bring a backpack with some wrenches and we'll tweak things on the fly. I was trying to find the key. Found it. And maybe we'll just make notes of it. But that's it. That should be the Z125 for now. Let's go for a ride.